Yeah, so as most of the people that are working right now in the industry, I had actually no previous background into it. Uh, I finished my studies back in the 90s after graduating from two universities, one in economics and one in law. And as every fresh graduate from that time, okay, I received an offer from a multinational corporation, which was the dream of any young people in that time. I mean, there were quite a few. And when you receive such an offer, it was something, I mean, very spectacular. And I enjoy it, of course. Started my first jobs were in the finance field. So I was working for Pricewaterhouse. It's one of the companies where most of the young people, type of company, in a big four company, most of the young people are starting their career, which is a very good place to start, tough in the same time. So I spent there about 1 year and a half, something like this. Then I moved to other roles in finance. And in a afternoon like this, where we are right now, I was working for a major cosmetics distributor, and I was working in finance at that time. Okay, I would say boring job. And the managing director called me in his office and, look, we have a major problem in the logistics. People are stealing. Basically, that was the major problem. Are stealing like hell. I need someone there that I can trust. You are very young in the company. I had just 3 months in the company. So I assume that you are an honest person. Go there and at least I know that you are an honest person. You will not do anything bad. Of course, I have no experience in logistics. I do not know anything about this. No. You will learn. I will be on your back. Trust me. If everything happens, I will support you. Everything will be okay. Okay, but still, it's a major change from working in an office in finance to go in a warehouse. The office of the warehouse was in a totally different place. So no, think until tomorrow, but I will not accept any no on this. Of course, I fought until tomorrow, and I jump into this, and so that was the first major change in my career. That was the year 2000. I spent almost 19 years working in supply chain operations in different positions. What is interesting in supply chain, and that's the relation with the entrepreneurship, is that you really can be an entrepreneur. You make the things happening. You work with a lot of people from different backgrounds, starting with drivers and warehouse people to, I don't know, suppliers, directors working in Switzerland, so very refined and very poshy. And you have the chance, I mean, I told you I jump into the new position. I was keep on asking my boss, what should I do? Figure it out. I cannot tell you what to do there. So start to move the things forward. So that developed 2 skills, important skills. So this entrepreneurial capabilities and working with people. Because usually in a company, the supply chain department is usually the largest one, depending sometimes on parity with the sales. So even of course I get various positions until I was working as a country manager for a major freight forwarder in Romania. So I was happy. I enjoy all the benefits and the privileges of high-ranking executive, good salary, good package, company car, yeah, you know, that kind of things. And but I remember it was Christmas 2017 when I had one of my regular meetings with a former old friend of mine, old colleague and friend, Vlad Panait. We are colleagues in the faculty. We knew each other for, yeah, it's now almost 30 years since we knew each other. We work very briefly together. I mean, around 1 year, even less in a company. But otherwise, we had different career paths. He was working into commercial and marketing side, a lot of assignments outside Romania. I was working, as I told you, in supply chain operations, finance, mainly in Romania, having also some regional responsibilities, but mainly in Romania. But we kept the connection. And we met regularly on a drink, usually during Christmas, New Year, yeah, you know, that kind of friendly gathering. And in that friendly gathering at the end of 2017, he was telling me, look, have you noticed something on the startup world? Have you heard about UiPath? Have you heard about, yeah, even in that time, some news stories? No? Yeah, you have a homework, like I said. Have a look on this. He already invested as a business angel in a new key company. And we discussed together, of course, sound in that time very interesting to me. And we explore in a more regular meetings. And we said, okay, that's interesting. Let's start to work together as business angels. As I have told you, he had also some previous experience on this, already made an investment, already having some contacts on the market. So I was somehow joining in. And from the beginning, we said, okay, our names means nothing in that period. Nobody knows us in the industry. Let's establish a company called Sparking Capital. From Spark, a lot of people are confusing with sparkling. And this is a common typo error that I always have to correct it. Everybody. A lot of people are writing the name of the company Sparkling. It's not from champagne. It's champagne will follow later. It's from sparking, the spark that we give to the startups. So we started this thing together beginning of 2018. In the beginning, as I said, it was our own money. We invested as a business angel, but putting together our own money. And we did 3 investments in that time, 2018 and 2019. Yeah, we signed a contract I think in end of February. But these are the 3 investments that we done it as a business angels. In the meantime, during 2018, Vlad left the corporate job that he had in that time. So he dedicated full time to the project. I was working 2018 part-time, but already telling to the management of the company in which I was employed, look, I have a side project. I will get involved into this part-time. They said, okay. Then the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, we said, look, these things started to roll over. The landscape changed dramatically. I mean, we had in that year the birth of the new funds like Gapminder, Early Game Ventures with the European money. A lot of entrepreneurs that were sitting idle, I would say. That was a very good generation, as a parenthesis in the story of Sparking Capital. I think we had a very good generation of entrepreneurs, 2018, 2019, even 2020. Why? Because they were struggling a lot. they didn't have any opportunity to raise finance apart from large funds outside or very small business angels like we are in the meantime, and they managed somehow to survive. And they are eager to raise new investments. Yeah? So the things are gradually moving up, and to say beginning of end 2018, beginning of 2019, should we make a fund? I mean, our money were not limitless, of course. We are closing also on our available funds available for investments, and we say we liked the new job, and we say, okay, maybe we should try to have a fund. Let's raise some capital and start the fund. Of course, this means that I had also to resign from my corporate job. As every entrepreneur in the world, the income that I have received was almost close to zero, which was a big cultural change from my side, coming, as I told you, from a corporate position with a lot of benefits and moving to survive from the savings that I had in that time. So it was a very tough period from the personal point. And still it is. Still it is. Is the advice that I'm giving also to my students when I'm teaching. Look, if you want to have good money, go get a job. If you want to follow your dream, become an entrepreneur. But be aware that money will follow later. This portrait that you saw in the media with the rich entrepreneur is just a portrait. You will not find it in real life, at least from the beginning. So it was a very tough period, from a person, and still it is. Why? Because maybe, again, another parenthesis, I see a lot of people coming to the fund managers, including us, with the view that we have a lot of money, including from personally. And they are asking for a lot of things. Look, you are sitting on a bunch of money, give a sort of, sorry for the comparison, Gigi Becali style. I mean, you are rich. No, it's not like this. As a fund manager, you are working for the future. The present, it's, again, very challenging because you are entitled to a management fee, which is usually around 2% from the funds that you raised. Yeah, 2% at a very small fund like we are means very small. Yeah, and this is valid all over the world. The incentive is the 20% carried interest that you will have it at the end of the fund. When you realize, how we say, the investments, you have the exits, you have the cash back, and yeah, there you presumably, if things goes well, you will somehow, let's say, you will not earn a lot of money, but you will re-up all the money that you have lost during those years when you work to make the fund. So, coming back to 2019, we raised the first capital. I remember that we had 6 investors in the beginning, raising a small amount of money. Our friends, some of them knew, actually from the original 6, I think we had at least 3, if not 4, that are new. We didn't know the guys prior to raising. It was just like a friendly discussion like we have right now. Look, we are raising a fund. People knew that we were active in the ecosystem, so we were not like fresh in the. We already had 1 year. They knew that we had some investments. By the way, when we did the fund, we brought together to the table the 3 investments that we have done with our money. I mean, we have served somehow the starters on the table, and then we follow on with the main course. So we raised the first capital. Again, very tough, difficult to convince the people. But the momentum was in the market. A lot of people were looking to the industry, and they say, okay, let's try to do it. And from that moment, yeah, the wheel started to turn. We raised more capital from more capital from the same people, so people that are contributing initially with a small amount, they put more money into the fund. At least up to date, the fund is made only from private individuals. We don't have any public money, European or Romanian or whatever, and up to now, we don't have any, let's say, institutional money, I mean, even from a company. We have two individuals that invested as from their company, but this is just a vehicle. It is not an institutional investor. Maybe we'll have it in the future. So we raised more capital, we invested into more startups, and arriving to the present day, we have 12 startups in portfolio. With some of them, we already, I think, we are in the third round. I mean, we already contributed 4 times to the equity of the company. Some of them are going fine. Some of them are not going not that fine. The good thing is that none of them is dead. The bad thing is we don't have yet an unicorn, so we still have a lot of work to do. But at least we are happy with the progress. Yeah, and one more thing, probably people already know, we register ourselves with the Financial Supervisory Authority, which took a lot of time and a lot of effort from our side. Still, it's one of the major burdens that we have it in this moment. Being such a small fund, coping with all the requirements of the legislation, which is not easy. I mean, the legislation, I'm not saying that it's, because I don't want to blame anyone. I'm not saying that the legislation is difficult, but it's made taking into consideration larger funds, which have a larger structure, basically. So if you are a small fund like us, where you are 3 partners, because in the meantime we have also Vlad Sarka joining as a director of the fund and partner, it's difficult to manage. All the requirements and all the reporting and all the things that you have to take care. I mean, we don't have many suppliers, but the lawyers are by far the most significant supplier that we have. And we pay at a very good rate a lot of money to our lawyers. So that's a very brief history up to date. And as a fund manager, you basically have 2 main tasks: raising capital and deploying capital into startups. Yeah. By far, in our case, it was much more difficult to raise capital than to deploy it into startups. Also due to the times in which we raised the fund, because as I have told you, there were startups in that time. In Western Europe, in more established markets, the challenge, I think, I'm not 100% sure since I don't live there, it's the other way around. It's a little bit easier to raise capital because you have a lot of big investors that are eager to contribute, and it's more challenging to find good startups. In our case, at least in the beginning, it was by far more difficult to raise capital. And the biggest challenge that we had, was to raise the first money. We had a lot of discussions with people, and we knew that they have the money available to invest. But when we described let's say the case, what we will do with the money, I don't get it. It's more like investing it's crypto. It's investing at lotto, at the lottery. No, it's a very scientific business case that we can prove it, but still it was difficult to raise money. Yeah. It was a question of the industry, new industry, which, by the way, for some of them we turn it into a positive way, because okay, something new, maybe you should try it, yeah. And you have in every product launch, you have the early adopters, people that will buy a product that is not yet finished. That was the case also for us, but it was also, of course, a matter of personal trust. Who are you? Who are you to come to me to ask for money? And these things function as every sales pipeline. You need to have 100 prospects, from where you get 10% meetings, and you get another 10% or 1% deal close. So for one person that will contribute, one investor, you need to have at least 100 contacts and meetings, and it still is quite time consuming, because we are dealing with private people. They switch priorities. They said, yes, I will invest, and then after you call them in 1 month or 2 months, they say, I place my money into an apartment, because that's where we had the sweet spot. It's no secret. I mean, I think we can tell our ticket. It's 30,000 euro. Yeah, which of course you can build a portfolio in the stock market. You can buy. Okay, you cannot still buy a small apartment, but at least you have the initial payment for this. So we are competing in a way with several investment products in our market. And since we target private individuals, they had, of course, a lot of priorities, and some of them knew the industry. Some of them are also from investors from our fund are also business angels. So people that in parallel invest their own money directly into startups. For them, it was, as you mentioned, a matter of trust, because they understand the industry, they know how the games works. So it was not. On the other hand, we had also corporate people or lawyers or whatever who had the money available, but it's difficult for them to understand the setup. I said that we had no problem simply because we get involved. I mean, we are doing this full time, and we're actively looking for startups, and also because that was the situation. Again, we had one example. Yeah, Bogdan Nicoară. Let's give also some names that are known in the market. That he was looking. He had several businesses. He was looking for finance. So we ordered at a good sweet spot. A lot of entrepreneurs that were not able to raise funds simply because there were no funds available. We were eager now to start. As I would say, most of the funds still in Romania, we are vertical agnostic. Simply because the degree of sophistication of the ecosystem is not that high to allow for targeted segment. Okay, in terms of vertical, because in terms of positioning, we are positioned pre-seed and seed. That's for sure. So we aim to be, and we were the first investors in the fund. From our 12 investments, however, in some of them we are the lead investor, so we contributed with the most important amount, and also we somehow, lead investor. We lead the round, and we have business angels and other investors joining in. In some other investments, we are the followers. Let's say we had someone else was the lead investor, and we are joining the round. As a As a result, we have different percentages in the startups and also different involvements. Personally, I was looking, for example, to invest in a supply chain startup, but I couldn't find it. I mean, I had some discussions into it, but in the end, they didn't yet, they were not fruitful. We may argue that K Factory, it's being Industry 4.0, it's a little bit of supply chain in general, but still not directly into supply chain. First investment was Evertoys. I remember it, 2018, which is not a typical tech startup. It's more a tech-enabled startup, if you want to say like this, since they have a very operational intensive component. It was when we move more gradually into tech, meaning investing in B2B SaaS. In my opinion, this is the epitome of a tech startup, this B2B SaaS. And a lot of investors are preferring this B2B SaaS. We have also B2C, Questo, which is a very good idea and something that it's really revolutionizing, will change the travel industry. We have we mentioned bright spaces in the real estate sector. Mentioned K Factory. We have product lead rebrand as Fleming Joy in the marketing. We tried. If you look at it may look that there is no coherence, and it is up to a certain point because as an investor you are opportunistic, but you can see something. We didn't invest, for example, in healthcare. Although we had opportunities, but we say we don't know anything about the sector. We have no expertise at all. And we put it the other way around. We'll invest in everything where we think we can add a little bit of value. We will not invest into startups, at least as lead investor, in startups where we have no clue about this. So that's why we don't have healthcare, we don't have, very deep tech, whatever, or games or gaming, something like this, because we simply do not, we cannot add value. As our philosophy as investors is to really get involved. Maybe this is also something a little bit annoying for the founders because it's coming from our corporate background. You had that weekly status meeting, and we kept it in our way of working with the startups. And literally, we have weekly meetings, monthly meetings with our startups. Some of them, again, are considering too much, and we are fine to change it. But most of them realize the value out of it. Why it's good to have a weekly status meeting? You avoid surprises and noise. As a founder, you should remember that you don't receive just the money. You receive also someone that potentially can help you with the business. Ask for that help. Or at least complain that things are not going well. If you wait 3 months and you can tell me, look, okay, I have a problem, the business has no traction. What can I do? But if you keep on telling me every week, I cannot say after 3 months, look, the business is not working. You can say, I have told you every week that we have a problem, and you did nothing. So I really recommend this to the founders, to stay close to the investors in this institutional. We have WhatsApp groups and informal communication and calls and emergency situation exceptions. But still having a regular format of meetings and communication and working together really makes the things fine from both sides. it's immediately after business angels. So normally it's the famous pyramid of funding. You have the three F's in the beginning: friends, family, and fools. When you have the angels, sometimes these angels are working to joining forces and make a common investment. When you have the funds like us, what we are bringing this dedicated involvement. I was also, as I mentioned in the beginning, a business angel. And I was doing this part-time, meaning part-time after my main job. And sometimes your main job is very tough and very challenging, so you don't have any other time to do other things. And I had this discussion with the founders, because they identify a person that is potentially a business angel, someone very high, good person, and they want to bring it into the cap table and as an advisor to give equity. And this is the only advice: make sure that the person is available to you. Because a lot of people are saying, okay, I will help you, I will get involved, but in reality, they simply don't have, it's not that they are lying it, but simply they do not have the time to do it. We have the time because, again, we are not doing anything else. So I think this is what we can bring, and we are bringing to the startups this dedicated partner that they have in the board. Let's call it board, even if I don't like the word. It looks very, very poshy. And they have this partner that is really available for them to discuss and to share ideas. And this is another thing that a lot of founders are perceiving in a negative way. They say, okay, I have to report to the board. Of course you have to report to the board. Tim Cook is reporting to the Apple board. This is what a director, a manager should do, to report to the board. Is nothing exceptional there. You don't feel, low or humiliated that you have to report to a board. We report also to our board. We have also a board. Everybody has a person that should report. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with this. But if you try to build this, and we try to be as friendly as possible with the founders, the reality is that we are not that young, I would say. Most of the founders are younger than us. Although we have also some founders that are in close to our age, but still most of them are younger than us. And we try to eliminate also this age discrepancy between us and the founders, and to get involved. And we really think that this is the added value that we have bring it to the Romanian market. This involvement also in startups in which we didn't invest it. Of course, we don't take any project that it's on our table, but I remember that we had very long discussions with startups in which we didn't invest it. And they saw the value out of this. They said, okay, we didn't invest, sometimes because the founder has chosen another investor in that time, but they realized the value. Look, we have a process. We went through all the stages. We now can better refine our strategy, design our product, assemble our team to move forward. So, and we think that, we are a friendly founder fund. Yeah, so again, as a personal, in the meantime, meaning after I quit my corporate job and becoming an entrepreneur investor, I did my PhD. A long dream of mine. I always like to learn new things. So I was a little bit of nerd in the, you can see it from my glasses, in the school. And I keep on continue. So after I did my PhD, I get also a sort of position as a lecturer in ASE, and I'm teaching. I'm currently teaching with a focus on this master in entrepreneurship. But I'm teaching also at bachelor level and also at other master's program. The idea is that we need to build these entrepreneurs. And you need to get involved. It's also, again, a personal desire to return to the society what I have learned. And it's not, great words, and I'm not trying to, with all the modesty that I'm capable of, I'm trying to return to the younger generation what I have learned, but also a way of discovering new entrepreneurs. Because I mentioned in the beginning, back in 4 or 5 years ago, it was, let's say, easier to find quality entrepreneurs. Now it's not that easy. And we are approaching the paradigm of more developed countries where you need to build the entrepreneurs. And it will be, I will not say a fight, but a clash among good deals. So you need to have a deal flow, especially as we are positioned at pre-seed level, a good deal flow from where to have good entrepreneurs. And it's an interesting thing. I mentioned again in the beginning, my dream was when I graduated, was to have a corporate job. Still it is, but we can see younger generation having also the dream as becoming an entrepreneur or working for a startup. I mean, they really consider it working for a startup, especially in Bucharest and other major cities. Of course, it's difficult when they receive an offer from a major company and they have some personal problems and they say, okay, I will take it. But still it's something that I wanted to do, and I wanted to follow on with this and to build this younger generation of entrepreneurs. Yeah, they still have that utopia in their mind. It's now what we have right now. Remember that we have some entrepreneurs from the early 90s that build the businesses that we see around us. The classical entrepreneurs. They have children right now that are now students, because if they were building their business in the 90s and they have their child that are now in the 20s, so they are our students. Some of them, so they know very well what entrepreneurship means. And some of them are looking forward to inherit and lead the business of their parents, which is very good, I think, in my opinion. We encourage them to do this. Your father or your mother, your parents did establish a good company, do it. No matter if it's a farm, if it's a factory, if it's a shop, it's whatever, do it. But add some tech into it. And we advise them, look, you cannot continue like that. At least add the tech component. So that's one category, and they are considering. The other category is the students that do not have any entrepreneurial experience. Their parents are not into entrepreneurship. And here, you have this utopia for some of them. And if you ask that, it's one of the things, when I introduce myself as a professor to the class, I have several questions asking the students. The last question is, what is your dream? Successful entrepreneur or top manager? But meaning comparing means successful entrepreneur, what is your dream? Elon Musk or, I don't know, Tim Cook? Yeah, so top manager, really top, and really top entrepreneurs, a person that you know it from the press. And it's interesting that at least half of them are going for the entrepreneur. In reality, at the end, I think very few are pursuing the entrepreneurship path. But what is interesting, and I think I have mentioned, we have a category that do not want to really be entrepreneur, but they want to work for a tech startup, which is something again very, very, very good for the ecosystem. It's not okay. They are still considering again a corporate career, but entrepreneurship is becoming more and more an option that they took it into consideration. Again, apart from the people that are the sons and daughters of old entrepreneurs, and we need to let them fly. They have also this idea that money are easy to get right now. You need to work also on this as a investor and teacher in the same time. But on the other hand, the risk of failure, the idea of failure, not only the idea of failure, it is becoming to be positively valued in our society. Of a good failure, if you're stealing or doing wrong things, of course, that's hopefully that will not be tolerated in the society. But the idea of serial entrepreneur, you try it, you fail it. I have a startup, even in our master, it's a startup that I'm mentoring. Apart from teaching them, I will not give the name. Probably they will fail. Because the startup that they are thinking is not probably poised to become a unicorn. But they will learn out of this. I'm pretty sure if they will fail, maybe they will be successful, but if they will fail, the next startup that they will do, it will be 100%. 99% successful, because they will learn out of this. It's very important. And as a young person, you have now the opportunity to learn, to borrow some money from the investors, and restart. It's a game that you need to play. It's something that you need to try, and of course, you need to be responsible. This doesn't mean that I raise some money, I try to have an idea, and guess what? I didn't make it. No, it's not like this. You need to put some effort into this. But still there are opportunities, and I think we will see more and more entrepreneurs coming out directly from the school. I think we are approaching the maturity phase. So we had the launching of the ecosystem, where we had a development like this. Of course, things cannot go in the same pace, because now we have a higher base. And we had these strange years with pandemic, now with the inflation, now with some funds that are not investing anymore, like we are doing, for example, not in new startups, but are preparing to raise the second fund. That's a difference, so maybe we touch upon this, because that explains the moment anyway. But still I see things that are developing. Why? I mentioned the desire of the young people to be entrepreneurs, but also the mafia that will appear. People that will make exits. Yeah, we are speaking about UiPath mafia. And we see it in the market. At a lower scale, we don't have such a large number of former UiPath employees that are starting their companies, but still we have. And we'll see more and more. After gradually some entrepreneurs are exiting their initial startups, they will build more companies. Coupled with the young blood that will come from the universities, I think we'll have a good future. To put also a slightly negative point, what I didn't see it, and maybe that it's a little bit winding down, corporate people joining the entrepreneur path. we have in our portfolio some entrepreneurs that are working in corporations. But I didn't see that much in the last period, these things. I mean, people are preferring to stay at the company, at the corporation, be it local or multinational, and they are not trying as much as we see it a few years ago. Yeah, I think that's a little bit of downside that probably needs to be work it out in the future. Of course, the companies are struggling also for talent, and a good talent will always find a place. But it's that's on a little bit of downside. But otherwise, yeah, I see things developing. I see also entrepreneurs from countries around us coming to Romania and see the potential here. I see also investors coming from outside Romania and looking for this. The question is how to balance the funds available with the entrepreneurs, the ideas that are on the market, with good ideas. And it's something that we need to find out together. Where is the balance? I don't think probably we'll achieve a balance. It will be, we have in economics these terms of equilibrium. But this is a theoretical concept, which doesn't exist in reality. Because you always have this imbalance. In some moments in time, you have too many entrepreneurs and too low funds. In some periods, you have the vice versa. Too many funds available and too limited number of entrepreneurs, or projects, let's call it, in which are available to invest, which triggers ups and downs in valuations, because it's the market and demand. We need to look at more mature ecosystems outside Romania. I think we are following their trends. We are a little bit behind them. We burned some stages, as I wrote in the article that you kindly publish in the website. So I think we burned some stages. We realize in 5 years what others were doing in 20 or 25 years, but still we don't have the degree of sophistication. What I can see in the future, I think we'll see more funds specialized, maybe in some verticals. Still, don't think we'll see it in the next 5 years. Funds focused just on one vertical, like we have in UK. We have a fund that invest a partner that we invested together in bright spaces. We are focused only on PropTech. I don't think we'll have this in the next 5 years. Focus just on vertical. It's still too early, but at least we'll have some specialization of the funds. I see also a specialization of the entrepreneurs. It's good that we have a lot of projects. Some of them will be very focused. Still, it's a problem of mixing the teams because tech entrepreneurship, especially, it's done in teams. It's not a standalone and lonely wolf type of business. Regarding coming back to the funds, yeah, most of the fund managers probably will launch their second fund. It is also our intention to launch, and this explains also a little bit of pause in funding that we have right now in Romania. Look, a fund has usually a 10-year span life. In the first 5 years, you normally, simplifying a lot, of course, in the first 5 years you invest into new startups. In the next 5 years, you are doing follow-ons and exiting. We started 2019, 18, something like this. So we are now approaching the end of the investment phase. And of course, if an entrepreneur comes to us in this moment, a new one, we will say no. Why? First of all, because we have to support our current portfolio. Secondly, you don't have the time to mature that investment. So if we invest right now from this fund, we will not have the time to properly raise it, the startup, and do a good exit. So we are not investing. Some other funds that are in Romania in this moment are in the same situation. They started 2018, 2019. So closing, let's say, from the investment point of their first fund and trying to raise the second fund. And it's a little bit of difficult moment right now in the exactly in this moment in the ecosystem, where we have not so many funds available just from this technical reason. And of course, once more fund managers will raise the second fund and we'll have new fund managers in the market, things will be back in the paradigm of 2019. Yeah, we had a debate, okay, we had an increase, there are no money available. There are money available in the market, but not in the way that there were in 2019. We don't have also the entrepreneurs from 2018. So you cannot really compare the past with the present, also with the future. Things are irrepeatable. So it's difficult, of course, to anticipate the future, but I will see new funds coming, more entrepreneurs maybe exiting again from their business and doing new startups, and we will enter in a model followed by other ecosystems. It's difficult to say something because we should not become very nationalistic. I mean, we are the tiger of Europe, like I saw it in some media. Romania is the Silicon Valley of Eastern Europe. Yeah, of course, things are developing, things are moving. But I think without knowing very well, because we have invested only in startups from Romania. So apart from media and maybe some business trips, I don't have a direct knowledge of the ecosystems from even from around us. So I cannot comment very objectively. But I think we already have a trademark. Something like, of course, we have the UiPath, which in our world is becoming more like Dracula or Nadia Comaneci or Hagi. I mean, you are the country of UiPath in our small, which is good in the end, because yeah, that's a successful startup that listed in the New York Stock Exchange. That's a success. The other countries don't have startups that are capable to go there. So we are still recognized as the UiPath country. What I think we need to have in order to be really distinguishable in Europe, more startups in the middle. So success stories. We have UiPath, which is okay, a star. We have a lot of promising startups at the base, still at the base, but we have, I think, a little bit of gap in the, that kind of 100 million euro valuation startup. It's not yet an unicorn, but not an early stage meaning up to, let's say, 10 million euro. So we need more startups like FinTech OS, for example, or Druid, or just to give, without any publicity, just to give some examples. More startups that are actually scale-ups, that are going outside Romania, that are raising funds, and that are putting Romania, on the normal ecosystem path, which are investable, which are moving outside Romania, and as a trademark of startups of what is coming from Romania. Sincerely, I do not think we have yet. I mean, you can say that Romania is the country of fintechs, like, for example, it's Estonia, or the country of PropTech. Still, we have to find this unique point. Maybe we'll not find it. maybe we'll have it will be a good country of pipeline of startups, and yeah, that will go outside and raise money from other investors. I think we need to be realistic in the same time. We don't need to become again the Silicon Valley of Europe if this is not possible. Fast and furious, but it's I would not say furious, since I think in Romania we have that spirit of working together. Other people are asking me, what is your competitor in terms of funds? Of course, we are competitors, but in the same time, we are more collaborating than competing one against of each other. Most of the investments, if not all, the investments are done together. So I think the spirit of the ecosystem, and you can have also as a title, it's working together to develop it. And it's not only the funds, but also the other actors of the ecosystem, like you are, because you are very friendly with all the actors, and you are trying to develop. And I saw the same spirit also in conferences, for example, in How to Web, in Textilvania, in all the actors of the ecosystem. Somehow they are trying to pull the efforts together without any coordination. I mean, it's not someone that it's directing the things and say you are doing this, you are doing that. And that's the beauty out of it, because we develop together this ecosystem by doing, each of us, the job that we assume it in the end, because no one told me to do this, no one told you to do that. But in reality, we are working very well together, and I think we have done a good job. Still a lot of work to do. And yeah, we need, I think, we need already to think about the next generation. And as I'm trying to, not as an investor or entrepreneurs, but the next generation that will pick up the things from where we have built it in 5 or 10 years from now, and to move. But I'm pretty sure that they will appear. So I'm very optimistic on this.